Rain struck Nathan Cole's face so hard he could barely keep his eyes open. In the white flash of lightning, he saw a young woman stagger beside his fence, one hand gripping the wet wood while the Wyoming wind pulled at her dark dress. Nathan ran through the mud and caught her just before her knees gave way. She looked up at him, soaked and trembling, and whispered, "Please, do not call anyone." Nathan did not know her name. He did not know why a Chinese girl was alone 6 miles from the nearest settlement in the middle of an October storm. He only knew she was freezing, and the one warm thing he owned was hanging across his shoulders. When he placed his father's old wool coat around her, she stared at him with sudden fear. "You should not have done that," she said. Nathan frowned. "Why?" But she would not answer. The storm had rolled across the western Wyoming plains just after sunset in October of 1884. Nathan had seen dark clouds gathering beyond Black Pine Ridge, but storms were common that time of year. He had brought the cattle closer to water, checked the barn doors, and gone inside before the worst of it came. Then the sky seemed to break apart. Thunder shook the windows of his cabin. Wind pushed against the walls, making the old roof beams groan. Rain hammered the shingles so hard that Nathan could hardly hear the fire snapping in the stone hearth. At 24, he was used to silence. He had inherited the Willow Bend Ranch after his father died 2 winters earlier. The place was small by Wyoming standards. 43 cattle, 2 horses, 1 aging barn, and more fence than Nathan could ever seem to keep repaired. The nearest town was called Cedar Hollow. Nathan avoided it whenever he could. He could trade cattle, he could repair a saddle, he could pull a frightened calf from deep mud and stay awake all night beside a sick horse. Talking to strangers was harder. Talking to women was nearly impossible. His father used to laugh about it. "You can stare down a bull, Nathan, but one girl smiles at you and you forget your own name." Nathan always pretended not to hear him. Since his father's death, nobody teased him anymore. That evening, he sat beside the fire with a tin cup of coffee between his hands. His father's heavy brown coat hung from a wooden peg near the door. It was too good for ordinary ranch work, so Nathan wore it only when the cold became serious. The coat still carried small signs of the man who had owned it. One brass button had been replaced with a darker one, the right cuff had been stitched twice. A faint pipe smell sometimes returned when the wool became damp. Nathan knew it was foolish. But when he touched that coat, he sometimes felt less alone. The wind struck the cabin again. Something rattled outside. Nathan raised his head. Probably the loose gate. Then he heard another sound. "It's not wood. It's not wind. A cry." He stood. For several seconds he listened. Nothing came except rain. Nathan walked toward the window and wiped fog from the glass with his sleeve. Outside, darkness swallowed the yard. The lantern beside the barn had already gone out. Lightning ripped across the sky. For one bright second, Nathan saw someone near the fence. A small figure. Then darkness returned. Nathan grabbed his lantern and his father's coat. By the time he opened the door, the wind nearly tore it from his grip. "Hello." His voice vanished into the storm. He stepped into ankle-deep mud. Another flash came. The figure was closer now. A young woman stumbled toward the cabin, though Nathan was not sure she could even see it. She wore a long dark skirt and a plain-fitted jacket, both soaked completely through. Her black hair had partly come loose and clung to her cheeks and neck. She reached for the fence. Missed. Nathan ran. He reached her just before she fell. She stiffened the moment his hands touched her arms. "No." Her English was clear, though her voice shook badly. "It's all right," Nathan said. "I'm not going to hurt you." She pulled away from him. Her eyes moved quickly over the cabin, barn, horses, and empty yard. "Is anyone else here?" "No." That answer seemed to frighten her more. Nathan understood why a moment later. She was young, perhaps 21 or 22. Chinese without question, and alone on an isolated ranch with a white man she had never met. Nathan released her immediately. "My barn is dry," he said. "You can stay there until the storm passes." She shook her head. "I cannot stay. You can barely stand." "I must go." "Go where?" She turned toward the east, then stopped. Nathan saw confusion cross her face. You don't know where you are, he said. Her jaw tightened. I know. Nathan almost smiled, but this clearly was not the time. Cedar Hollow is southeast. Her eyes snapped toward him. You know Cedar Hollow. Everyone around here does. Oh, she hesitated. Nathan noticed a small cloth satchel tied across her shoulder. The bag was wet but tightly closed. One hand stayed protectively over it. Were you coming from there? No. The answer came too quickly. Nathan looked at her, but he did not press. Another burst of thunder rolled over the hills. Oh, she flinched. That was when he noticed how violently she was shaking. Nathan pulled off his father's coat. Oh, here. She stared at it. Take it. No. You're freezing. I cannot. Nathan stepped closer, then stopped far enough away not to frighten her. It's wool, it's dry inside. She looked at the coat again. Then at him. Nathan could almost see the argument taking place behind her eyes. Finally, she spoke. That belonged to someone. He glanced down at it. My father. Her expression softened. Where is he? Dead. The word came out more sharply than Nathan intended. The woman lowered her eyes. I am sorry. Nathan gave a small nod. Take the coat. She looked surprised. You just said it was your father's. And you're still cold. For the first time, something changed in her face. Not trust. Not yet. But the fear moved back a little. Nathan held the coat toward her. She reached out slowly. Her fingers brushed the wool. Then she stopped. In my family, she said carefully, a gift can become a debt. This isn't a debt. You want nothings. No. She studied him. Nothing later. Nathan nearly laughed from confusion. No. The woman looked at him for another long moment. Then she accepted the coat. It nearly swallowed her. Nathan's father had been broad across the shoulders, and Nathan was built much the same way. On the young woman, the coat fell almost to her knees. She pulled it tightly around herself. A slow breath left her. Nathan saw warmth reach her almost at once. Better. Oh, yes. Thunder rolled again, farther away this time. Nathan lifted the lanterns. What's your name? Oh, she hesitated. Chen Lihua. Nathan repeated it carefully. Lihwa. A faint smile touched her mouth. Close enough. I'm Nathan Coles. I know now. Hell, you said your name when you told me not to be afraid. Nathan blinked. He had forgotten doing that. Lihua looked toward the dark prairie. I need to leave. You still don't know the road. I know enough. Nathan shook his head. No, you don't. Her expression hardened. My family is waiting for me. Where? She did not answer. Nathan tried again. If you tell me, I can take you there. No. At least let me ride with you. I came on foot. That surprised him. In this weather. The weather was not like this when I left. Where did you leave from? Again, silence. Nathan was beginning to understand that Chen Lihua guarded information like some people guarded money. She looked toward the eastern hills. There is a Chinese work settlement near Silver Creek. Nathan knew it. Rail crews had lived there for several years while a new line was pushed west. Some workers had moved on when construction slowed. Others stayed, opening laundries, vegetable gardens, kitchens, repair shops, and small businesses serving nearby camps. He had never visited. The place lay perhaps 5 miles from his ranch. You're from there. My family is staying there. Then let me take you. No. Why not? Lihua looked at his cabin again. Then at the coat. Because people already noticed too much. Nathan frowned. What does that mean? She looked almost embarrassed. My father is respected among the families there. My uncle manages supplies for many workers. People know where I go, they know who speaks to me. Nathan still did not understand. I was looking for something before the storm, she continued. Medicine. A medicine? Willow bark and sage for an older woman with fever. Nathan glanced at her soaked satchel. That's what's inside. She nodded. My mother taught me which plants help with pain. My grandmother taught her before she left Guangdong. For the first time, Nathan heard homesickness beneath her voice. Guangdong, he repeated. China. I know where it is. She lifted an eyebrow. Nathan felt foolish. Mostly. That earned him another small smile. It disappeared quickly. My family came to America when I was 16, she said. My father believed there would be work here. He was right about the work. Nathan waited. Lihua looked into the darkness. He was wrong about how easy the rest would be. Nathan did not know what to say. So he said nothing. She seemed grateful for that. The rain was weakening now, but the wind remained sharp. Nathan pointed toward the barns. You should at least wait until the lightning passes. I cannot. Because your family will worry. Because they are probably already searching. Nathan looked toward Silver Creek. If they're searching in this storm, they could miss you completely. I know. Then stay here so they can find you. Lihua's eyes turned back to him. No. There was fear there again. Nathan finally asked the question he had been avoiding. Are you afraid of me? She considered it seriously. No. That answer surprised him. Then what? Lihua looked down at the coat wrapped around her shoulders. When my family sees this, there will be questions. Nathan almost smiled. Tell them you were phrasing. That will not stop the questions. It should. You do not know Chinese families. No. You also do not know my father's. Nathan thought about that. Is he dangerous? Lihua looked offended. He is my father. That wasn't an answer. Her mouth twitched. This time Nathan was certain she was trying not to smile. Then her expression became serious. My father has spent years keeping our family safe here. He does not trust strangers easily. That sounds sensible. He trusts unmarried ranchers even less. Nathan stared at her. I haven't done anything. I know. Then why would he care? Lihua stepped closer. Rain slid from the brim of Nathan's hat. She lowered her voice. Because kindness is simple only to the person giving it. Nathan said nothing. She touched the edge of the coat. To you this is warmth. What is it to you? Her gaze held his. Something people may misunderstand. Nathan felt heat rise into his face despite the cold. I wasn't asking to marry you. Lihua's eyes widened. Then unexpectedly she laughed. It was quiet and brief. But it changed her whole face. Nathan immediately regretted speaking. I didn't mean. I know what you meant. Oh, good. You look terrified. I'm standing in a thunderstorm. You were not terrified before. Nathan decided silence was safer. Lihua pulled the coat tighter. My father will understand eventually. Eventually. She looked toward the eastern darkness. If I reach home before the men searching for me reach you. Nathan's amusement vanished. What men's? But Lihua had already stepped away. Thank you, Nathan Cole. Wait. She turned. Keep the coat, he said. Her face changed. What? You need it more than I do. No, it's fine. It is not fine. It's a coat. It was your father's. Nathan swallowed. Oh, yes. Then I will return it. You don't have to. I will. There was a firmness in her voice he did not argue with. Lihua looked down at the coat one last time. Then back at him. You give away things too easily. My father said holding too tightly can ruin a man. My grandmother said the same thing about pride. The wind moved between them. Nathan lifted his lantern higher. Follow the fence east until you reach the cottonwoods. There's a wagon trail beyond them. It will take you towards Silver Creek. I know that trail. Then how did you end up here? The storm. Nathan nodded. That was fair. Lihua turned away. She made it 10 steps before Nathan called after her. Lihua. She looked back. What did you mean earlier? About what? You said I shouldn't have given you the coat. She stood silently beneath the rain. Lightning glowed far beyond the hills. At last she said, I meant that good intentions do not always protect people from consequences. Nathan frowned. What consequences? Lihua looked at him with an expression he would remember long after that night. I hope none's. Then she disappeared into the darkness. Nathan remained beside the fence until he could no longer hear her footsteps. Only then did he realize he was standing outside without a coat. He returned to the cabin soaked through. The fire had fallen low. Nathan added 2 logs and removed his wet shirt. He tried drinking what remained of his coffee, but it had gone cold. His eyes kept drifting toward the empty wooden peg beside the door. For 2 years, his father's coat had hung there. Now there was nothing. Nathan sat beside the fire. He told himself he had done the right thing. A person had been freezing. He had something warm. That should have been the beginning and end of it. Still, Lihua's warning bothered him. Good intentions do not always protect people from consequences. Nathan leaned back in the chair and closed his eyes. He saw her face again. Not beautiful in the polished way of women he had occasionally seen outside shops in Cedar Hollow. Something quieter. Sharp eyes. A steady voice. A face that changed completely when she laughed. Nathan opened his eyes. Stop it. The empty cabin did not answer. He slept badly. Every time the wind struck the wall, he woke. Once he dreamed someone was knocking at the door. Another time he dreamed his father stood beside the empty coat peg, shaking his head. Near dawn, the storm finally moved east. Nathan rose before the sun. The air outside smelled washed clean. Rainwater shone in the grass. Clouds rested low over Black Pine Ridge. The entire prairie seemed unusually still. Nathan stepped into his boots and walked toward the barn. He found one broken fence rail. Then another. A roof board had come loose. Nothing serious. He was halfway toward the cattle pen when he noticed the tracks. Nathan stopped. Horse prints covered the mud near the western fence. Not one horse. Many. He crouched. Some tracks were deep and fresh. Others crossed them. Several horses had stood in the same place for a long time. Nathan slowly looked toward his cabin. More tracks circled the property. Some passed near the barn. Some reached almost to the porch. His hand went cold. People had been here during the night. Watching. Nathan stood. He followed the prints toward the road. They came from the direction of Silver Creek. Lihua. His stomach tightened. Had she made it home? Had someone followed her? Had her family found his coat? Nathan suddenly remembered her words. If I reach home before the men searching for me reach you. He looked across the empty prairie. Nothing moved. Nathan almost laughed at himself. The tracks were probably from searchers. They had found Lihua's trail. Seen it led toward his ranch. Then found her again and gone home. That was all. Nathan returned to his chores. He fed the horses, checked the cattle, repaired half of the broken fence rail. He had almost convinced himself everything was normal when his mare raised her head. Her ears turned west. Nathan heard nothing. Then the cattle noticed it too. Several animals shifted uneasily. Nathan straightened. Movement appeared beyond the fence. At first he saw only 3 men. Then 10. Then 20. Some rode horses. Others walked beside wagons. More figures came over the low rise behind them. Nathan dropped the hammer in his hand. Men spread along the western boundary of Willow Bend Ranch. Chinese men, rail workers, teamsters, laborers, older men in dark jackets, young men with rolled sleeves. Several carried long tools. Others wore knives at their belts or had old rifles resting across their saddles. None entered his land. They simply lined the fence. Nathan counted 25. Then 50. Then gave up. They continued arriving. Dozens more. Nearly 200 men eventually stood along his boundary. Silent, watching him. Nathan's mouth went dry. His rifle was inside the cabin. It might as well have been in California. He stood alone in the middle of his yard, with a fence hammer hanging uselessly from one hand. Nobody shouted. Nobody threatened him. That somehow made it worse. Nathan forced himself to walk toward the porch. Every face followed him. He stopped beside the steps. Minutes passed. Then more. The morning sun rose behind him. Still the men waited. Nathan thought of Lihua wearing his father's coat. He thought of her warnings. He thought of the horse tracks around his cabin. A small group finally appeared from the east. 6 riders moved ahead of an old wagon. At their center rode a broad-shouldered Chinese man, perhaps 50 years old. Gray showed at his temples beneath a dark hat. His clothes were plain, but the people along the fence straightened when he passed. Nathan did not need anyone to explain who held authority here. The man stopped at Nathan's gate. He dismounted. For several seconds, he and Nathan simply looked at one another. Then the stranger spoke in careful English. "You are Nathan Coles." Nathan swallowed. "Oh, yes." The man stepped closer to the fence. "My name is Chen Lihua." Nathan's heart began beating harder. The surname told him enough. Lihua's face remained calm, but grief and anger lived underneath it. "Chen Lihua is my daughter." Nathan looked past him at the silent crowd. Then back at the father. Lihua's next words turned the cool morning air to ice. "My daughter never came home. My daughter never came home." Nathan felt the words hit harder than the storm had. For a moment, he could only stare at Chen Lihua. Then he looked again at the men lined along his fence. Nearly 200 faces. Some worried. Some angry. Some simply waiting. Nathan set the hammer down slowly. She left here alive. Lihua did not move. When? Late last night during the storm. Alone? Oh, yes. Why? Nathan looked toward the eastern hills. She said your family would worry. A flicker of pain crossed Lihua's face. Nathan continued. She was cold, soaked through. I offered the barn. She refused. I offered to ride with her. She refused that too. Lihua's eyes dropped to Nathan's shirt. Then to the empty hook visible through the cabin door. My daughter was wearing a brown wool coat when men saw her trail. Nathan nodded. My father's. A murmur moved through the people outside the fence. Nathan's skin tightened. Lihua lifted one hand. The murmur stopped. You gave it freely. Oh, yes. You asked nothing. Nothing. Lihua studied him for a long time. Nathan could feel every man behind him doing the same. Finally, Jianyu spoke. Lihua warned you there might be trouble. Nathan hesitated. Oh yes. What exactly did she say? Nathan remembered the rain on her face, the coat around her shoulders, her quiet voice. Good intentions do not always protect people from consequences. Jianyu closed his eyes briefly. Nathan saw something change in him. Not anger, fear. She knew. Knew what? Jianyu looked toward the men at the fence. Some people have been watching her. Nathan's stomach tightened. Who? Jianyu did not answer at once. Instead, he reached for the gate. Nathan stepped forward and opened it. Jianyu entered alone. The men remained outside. That small gesture meant something. Nathan was not sure what. Jianyu walked through the yard slowly. His eyes took in the cabin, barn, cattle, broken fence rails, muddy boot prints. He stopped near the place where Nathan had found Lihua. You touched her here. Nathan almost bristled at the question. I caught her when she fell. That is all. Oh yes. Jianyu nodded once. Not approval. Simply acknowledgement. He walked toward the porch. Nathan followed. Near the steps, Jianyu crouched. There were tracks Nathan had not noticed. A narrow boot print. Then another. They moved away from the cabin toward the north. Jianyu touched the mud. These are hers. Nathan crouched beside him. You're sure? I bought those boots in Rock Springs. The trail crossed the yard, then disappeared into harder ground. Jianyu stood. We followed her from the medicine grounds until the storm washed the marks away. Later, we found them again near your ranch. Nathan looked toward the north. But she left east. Jianyu turned slowly. Nathan felt a chill. She told me Silver Creek was east. It is. Then why are her tracks going north? Neither man spoke. Nathan looked toward the waiting crowd. Who else was searching last night? Many. Did anyone find her? No. Did anyone find signs of a struggle? Not yet. Jianyu's face grew harder. Tell me everything, she said. Nathan did. Not quickly. He described the medicine satchel. The storm. Her fear of being seen. Her refusal to stay. Her warnings. Her words about family. Even the moment when she laughed because Nathan had thought the coat might mean marriage. Jianyu's expression shifted at that. Why are you smiling? Nathan touched his mouth. I was. You were. Nathan looked away. Jianyu said nothing for several seconds. Then he walked toward the barns. Nathan followed him again. Inside, the horses shifted uneasily. Jianyu stopped near Nathan's mare. Can you ride? Nathan almost laughed. I'm a rancher. Oh, good. Jianyu turned. You are coming with us. Nathan looked at him. Where? To find my daughter. Nathan glanced outside. At the crowd. You think I did something to her. I think you were the last known person to see her. That isn't the same thing. No. Jianyu's voice remained calm. But if I believed you harmed her, we would not be talking. Nathan heard the truth in that. He also heard the warnings. Jianyu stepped closer. You gave her your father's coat. Oh yes. You protected her without knowing hers. Oh yes. Then help finish what you began. Nathan looked toward the northern hills. His old fear rose. Not fear of those men. Fear of leaving the life he understood. The ranch, the cattle, the fences, everything simple, everything safe. Then he remembered Lihua shivering beneath his father's coat. He remembered her saying people notice too much. Nathan turned toward the tack room. "Give me 10 minutes." Jianyu nodded. Outside, the waiting men began to move. Nathan saddled his mare quickly. He packed dried meat, water, rope, matches, a blanket, and his rifle. His hands were steady. That surprised him. When he stepped outside again, Jianyu was speaking to several older men. A younger Chinese man stood near him. He looked perhaps 25. Tall, narrow-faced. A faint scar crossed his left cheek. He watched Nathan without friendliness. Jianyu gestured. "This is my nephew, Chen Wei." Wei gave Nathan a short nod. "He speaks English better than most of our men." Nathan mounted. Wei looked at the ranch house. "You live here alone?" "Oh, yes. No wife. No brothers. No." Wei's expression remained unreadable. Nathan wondered why that mattered. Jianyu mounted a dark bay horse. "Only 20 men come." Nathan looked at the long fence line. "What about the rest?" "They search other roads." Nathan nodded. He was relieved. 20 men felt less like an army. Only slightly. They rode north. The prairie was still wet from the storm. Sunlight flashed on puddles. Mud sucked at the horses' hooves. Nathan rode beside Jianyu. Wei stayed just behind them. For nearly an hour, nobody spoke. Then Jianyu asked, "Did Lihua tell you why she came to America?" "Her father believed there was work." Jianyu's mouth moved slightly. "She protects me even when I am not there." Nathan glanced at him. "Was that wrong?" "No." Jianyu looked ahead. "I did believe there would be work. I did not understand how much dignity work could cost." Nathan waited. Jianyu continued. "We came from Guangdong 8 years ago. My brother had already crossed the ocean. He sent letters saying men could earn more here in 1 month than at home in many months." "Was he right?" "Oh, yes." Jianyu's voice became quiet. "He forgot to write what else men paid." Nathan did not ask. He had heard enough stories. Chinese workers beaten, cheated, driven from camps, paid less, blamed when work disappeared. Jianyu spoke again. "My wife died before we came west. Lihua was 16, her younger brother was 9. Nathan looked at him. "She has a brother." "John. Where is he?" "With my sister." Nathan nodded. Jianyu's face softened. Lihua became half daughter, half mother after her own mother died. Too much responsibility for a girl. Nathan thought of her searching alone for medicine in a storm. She doesn't seem afraid of responsibility. That is what worries me. Nathan almost smiled. Jianyu noticed. She told you enough for you to form an opinion. Not much. Yet you have one. Nathan considered denying it. Then decided against it. She seems stubborn. Wei made a quiet sound behind them. Nathan turned. Wei was smiling. Jianyu almost did too. That, Jianyu said, you understand correctly. The ground began to rise. The open prairie broke into rocky draws and low ridges. Near noon, the group stopped where 3 cottonwoods leaned over a narrow stream. A pair of searchers waited there. One held something in his hand. Jianyu dismounted immediately. Nathan followed. The man opened his palms. A button. Dark brass. Nathan knew it at once. My father's coat. He took it. Mud filled the grooves around the edge. Jianyu pointed toward the ground. Tracks crossed the stream. Lihua's small boot prints. Then another set. Larger. Male. They had come together from the south. Nathan studied the marks. Did she mate someone? Wei crouched. No. He pointed at the mud. Nathan looked closer. The larger prints were deeper. Uneven. Running, Wei said. Nathan saw it now. Lihua's prints lengthened. She had been moving fast. Then the ground near the stream was torn. A heel dragged. One boot print turned sideways. Another vanished beneath a large horse track. Jianyu's jaw tightened. She was chased. Nathan's chest went cold. On the far side of the stream, the trail became worse. Branches broken. Mud kicked up. Then blood. Only a little. A dark smear across a pale stone. Nathan stared at it. Jianyu knelt beside the rock. His fingers hovered over the stain without touching it. Wei looked away. Nathan heard the older man breathe once. Slow. Controlled. Then Jianyu stood. Find the direction. The searchers spread out. Nathan did too. He had spent years tracking cattle through bad weather. A horse left signs people often missed. A bent stem. A stone turned bright side up. Fresh mud on a dry root. He moved carefully along the bank. 20 yards north, he found another torn place in the soil. Then a hoof mark. One horse's. Deep. Very deep. Nathan crouched. Two riders. Wei came over. How do you know? Wait. Nathan pointed. Horses carrying more than one person. Jianyu joined them. The hoof marks led northwest. Away from Silver Creek. Away from the ranch. Toward Black Pine Ridge. Jianyu's face turned hard. He took her. Nathan looked at him. You know who? Jianyu did not answer. Wei did. Maybe. Jianyu turned sharply. Wei lowered his gaze. Nathan felt tension between them. What aren't you telling me? Jianyu looked at his nephew. Tell him. Wei's jaw tightened. There is a man named Liang Bo. Nathan waited. Wei continued. He came west with workers from California 2 years ago. Strong, good with horses, good with a knife. He helped protect our camp when drunk miners caused trouble. Sounds useful. He was. Wei's voice changed. Then he decided Lihua should marry him. Nathan felt something unpleasant settle in his stomach. Did she want that? No. How many times did she tell him? Enough. Jianyu spoke. Bo did not hear refusal, he heard insult. Nathan looked toward the ridge. And you think he took her? Jianyu's face was unreadable. I think he has been gone since yesterday afternoon. The group moved faster after that. The trail entered higher country. Pine trees appeared. The sun climbed. The wet earth began to steam. Nathan kept seeing pieces of the previous night. Lihua stumbling. Lihua refusing shelter. Lihua glancing toward the hills. Had she known Bo was following her? Had that been the real reason she would not stay? Nathan looked at Jianyu. She was afraid someone would see the coat. Oh yes. Though, perhaps. Why didn't she say his name? Jianyu's answer came quietly. Because she knew what men would do. Nathan understood. A name could become a fight. A fight could become blood. Lihua had been trying to avoid both. She was protecting him. No. Jianyu looked at Nathan's. She was protecting everyone from him. They reached a narrow pass in the afternoon. One of the searchers raised his hand. Everyone stopped. He pointed toward a pine trunk. A strip of brown wool had been tied around a low branch. Nathan dismounted. He recognized it immediately. The coat linings, carefully torn, not ripped by accident. Placed. Lihua had left it. Nathan touched the cloths. She's making a trail. Jianyu's eyes sharpened. My daughters. Pride and fear fought in his voice. They followed the signs. Another strip appeared half a mile later. Then a small stone wrapped in thread. Red thread. Jianyu picked it up. Nathan asked, "What is it?" From her medicine bag. He showed Nathan. She ties packets with this color. Nathan looked toward the ridge. She wants us to know she's alive. Wei nodded. And she knows we will follow. The trail entered rougher country. By late afternoon, the horses were breathing hard. The group stopped beside a narrow canyon. The walls rose orange and gray around them. Jianyu sent 3 men ahead. Nathan drank from his canteen. Wei sat nearby, sharpening a small knife. Nathan looked at him. You don't like me. Wei stopped. I do not know you. That wasn't what I said. Wei smiled without humor. You want honesty. Oh yes. I do not like that my cousin was wearing your coat. Nathan almost sighed. I gave it because she was freezing. I know. Then what's the problem? Wei looked toward Jianyu. Then lowered his voice. People talk. About what? About Chinese women who become too friendly with white men, about white men who use them and leave, about families who lose daughters to another world. Nathan's expression hardened. That isn't me. I do not know that. Nathan looked away. Fair enough. Wei continued. Lihua reads English books. She speaks better English than I do. She asks questions older men dislike. She wants to work at a school someday. Nathan remembered Jianyu saying she carried too much responsibility. She told you that. She tells everyone. Wei shook his head. She thinks knowledge is a road. What do you think? I think roads can lead home or away. Nathan considered that. Maybe she wants both. Wei looked at him. You sound like her. Nathan almost laughed. I barely know hers. That may be why. Before Nathan could ask what he meant, the scouts returned. One man spoke rapidly in Chinese. Jianyu listened. His face changed. We found a horse. Alive. Saddled. No riders. Nathan stood. Bows. Wei nodded. Probably. They moved on foot from there. The canyon narrowed. The horse had been tied near a cluster of rocks. A fresh cut marked one side of the saddle. Blood. More than before. Nathan touched it. Someone was hurt badly. Jianyu searched the ground. Then Wei called from 20 feet away. They found a knife. Small. Wooden handle. One edge dark with dried blood. Jianyu picked it up. Lihua's. Nathan looked at the blood. Not hers. Jianyu examined the handle. No blood on the grip. Oh, she cut him. A grim satisfaction passed through Nathan. Oh, good. Jianyu looked at him. Oh, yes. The trail beyond the horse became strange. 2 sets of footprints. Lihua's. And a man's. But the man's left step dragged. Wei crouched. Bo is wounded. Nathan pointed ahead. He's still moving. Why leave the horse? Canyon gets too narrow. Jianyu drew a pistol from beneath his coat. Nathan had not known he carried one. We are close. The men moved quietly. No one spoke. Nathan held his rifle low. The air cooled as the sun dropped behind the canyon wall. Then they heard a sound. A woman's voice. Not screaming. Speaking sharply. Chinese words echoed through the rocks. Jianyu froze. Lihua. He moved forward. Nathan grabbed his arm. Jianyu turned. Nathan pointed to the ground. A wire. Thin. Stretched ankle-high across the path. Jianyu stared. A small metal bell hung in the brush. Alarmed. Nathan stepped over it carefully. Wei whispered, Bo expects us. Jianyu nodded. They spread out. Nathan moved along the left canyon wall. Every few steps his boots slipped on loose stone. Then he saw smoke. A thin line rising behind boulders. A camp. Nathan crouched. From his position he could see a small fire. Liang Bo sat near it. He was younger than Nathan expected. Maybe 27. Broad shoulders. Black hair tied back. His left forearm was wrapped in bloody cloths. Lihua sat across from him. Her hands were tied in front of her. Nathan's father's coat was still around her shoulders. One sleeve was torn. The lower edge was muddy. But she was alive. Nathan's breath caught. She was speaking calmly. Too calmly. Nathan could not understand the words. Bo answered angrily. Lihua shook her head. Bo stood. His wounded arm made the movement awkward. He pointed toward the canyons. Then at her. Lihua said something else. Bo slapped the rock beside her with his good hand. Nathan tightened his grip on the rifle. He wanted to move. Jianyu appeared behind another rock across the clearing. Their eyes met. Wait. That was the message. Nathan forced himself to stay still. Lihua suddenly looked toward him. Not directly. Almost as if she had sensed movement. Her eyes stopped. Nathan wondered if she had seen his boot. She turned back to Bo. Then spoke louder. In English. You cannot make my father agree. Bo answered in English too. He will when he understands. He understands already. He listens to outsiders. He listens to me. Bo's face tightened. That is the problem. Nathan saw Jianyu close his eyes briefly. Lihua kept speaking. You want a wife who obeys you. I want a wife who remembers where she comes from. I remember China every day. Her voice sharpened. My mother's grave is there, my grandmother's house is there. The sound of rain on our old roof is there. Do not tell me I have forgotten China because I refuse you. Bo looked as though she had struck him. Lihua continued. I can remember home and still choose my own future. You choose white people. I choose myself. Nathan felt those words. Bo stepped closer. You took his coat. I was freezing. You kept it. He gave it freely. You laughed with him. Lihua stared. You followed me. Bo said nothing. That was answer enough. Lihua looked disgusted. You watched me in the storm. I was waiting for you to leave his land. You could have helped me. Bo's face twisted. You chose his help. Nathan felt anger burn through him. Not because of the coat. Because Bo had watched her struggle. Watched her freezing. And let pride matter more. Lihua seemed to understand the same thing. Her voice went quiet. You saw me nearly fall. Bo looked away. You saw me cold. Silence. You let me suffer because you wanted to see whether I would accept help from another man. Bo's jaw tightened. Lihua's face changed. Something died there. Any last trace of sympathy. You never loved me. I did. No. She shook her head. You loved being chosen. Bo stepped toward her. Nathan rose slightly. Jianyu's hand appeared from behind the rock. Wait. Bo crouched in front of Lihua. When we return, you will tell them you came willingly. Lihua almost smiled. No, you will. No, you will save your father shame. My father will feel no shame. He will if people learn his daughter spent a night with a white rancher. Nathan's stomach turned. Lihua's eyes became cold. I spent minutes beside his fence in a storm. People do not need truths. Bo said it softly. They need a story. Nathan understood then. The coat, the rumors, the crowd at his ranch. Bo had expected suspicion to fall on Nathan. Maybe even violence. If Lihua disappeared while wearing Nathan's coat, who would people blame first? Nathan. Bo could take her. Nathan could be accused. And in the confusion, Bo could return later as the man who saved her. Nathan looked toward Jianyu. The older man had understood too. His face was terrible now. Bo continued. When your father sees what this has caused, he will understand why you need a husband who can protect your name. Lihua leaned toward him. You caused it. For you. No. For us. There is no us. Bo grabbed her arms. Nathan moved. Jianyu moved at the same time. Bo. Jianyu's voice thundered through the canyon. Bo spun. Nathan came from the left. Wei and the others emerged behind Jianyu. For 1 second, Bo looked trapped. Then his face changed. Not fear. A decision. He pulled Lihua upright and pressed a knife beneath her jaw. Everyone stopped. Nathan felt the world narrow. Lihua did not scream. She simply stared at her father. Bo backed toward a narrow opening in the canyon wall. Stay back. Jianyu held his pistol steady. Let her go. You brought the ranchers. Nathan saw Lihua's eyes move toward him. A tiny change. Relief. Then fear. Bo noticed. His expression hardened. You came for hers. Nathan answered carefully. Yes. Why? Because she was taken. That is not your concern. Nathan remembered the storm. The coat. The empty hook. The blood on the rocks. It became my concern. Bo laughed once. Bitter. Because of a coat. Nathan looked at Lihua. No. Something in her face changed. Bo saw it. His knife pressed closer. Jianyu took 1 step forward. Bo shouted. Stop. Jianyu stopped. Nathan could see the old man fighting himself. Father against anger. Fear against reason. Lihua spoke quietly. Father. Jianyu looked at her. She said something in Chinese. Only 3 words. Jianyu's expression changed. Wei whispered beside Nathan. What did she say? Jianyu answered without looking away. She said, trust me. Bo backed farther. The canyon opening behind him was narrow. Dark. A crack leading into higher rocks. Nathan glanced toward Lihua's hands. Still tied. But loose. Very loose. She had been working the rope. Of course she had. Nathan understood. She did not need rescuing the way Bo thought. She needed 1 chance. Lihua shifted her weight. Bo tightened his arm around her. Do not. She went still. Nathan slowly lowered his rifle. Bo watched him. What are you doing? Nathan placed the rifle on the ground. Wei whispered Nathan. Nathan ignored him. He raised his empty hands. You want me? Bo stared. Nathan continued. You followed her because of me. No, because she accepted my coat. Bo's eyes narrowed. You think she chose me over you? Lihua looked at Nathan. Oh, she understood. Nathan took one step forward. Then let her go. Bo laughed. And take you. Oh yes. Jianyu looked at Nathan sharply. Bo's face changed. He liked the idea. Nathan saw it. Pride. Revenge. An easier story. The white rancher disappears. Lihua returns. Bo controls the truth. Nathan took another step. You can tell everyone I attacked you. Bo's knife loosened slightly. You would do that. No. Bo frowned. Nathan said, but you want to believe I would. Lihua moved. Vast. Her hands came free. She slammed her elbow backward into Bo's wounded arm. He screamed. The knife dropped. Lihua ducked. Nathan ran. Bo grabbed for her hair. Nathan hit him shoulder first. All three crashed into the rocks. Jianyu shouted. Men rushed forward. Bo fought wildly. His good fist struck Nathan across the cheek. Nathan answered with one hard punch to the ribs. Bo staggered. Lihua kicked the fallen knife away. Wei caught her and pulled her clear. Bo turned toward the dark passage. Nathan grabbed his coat. Not Bo's coat. His father's. The torn wool caught around Nathan's wrist as Bo tried to run. For one strange second, the coat stretched between them. The old fabric tore. Bo lost balance. Jianyu reached him. The older man did not strike. He simply put the pistol against Bo's chest. Enough. Bo froze. The canyon went silent. Nathan stood breathing hard. His cheek burned. Lihua was beside Wei. Her wrists were red and bleeding where the rope had rubbed them. Jianyu looked at his daughter. Then at Bo. Why? Bo stared at the ground. Jianyu's voice broke. I trusted you. Bo said nothing. You ate at my fires. Nothing. You carried my son when he was sick. Still nothing. Jianyu's hand trembled around the pistol. Lihua stepped forward. Father. He looked at her. Do not kill him. Bo finally raised his head. Jianyu stared at his daughter. After what he did. Oh yes. Why? Lihua's eyes moved to Bo. Because he wanted to make my choices for me. She took another step. I will not let his worst choice decide ours. Jianyu's face softened with pain. The pistol lowered. Wei bound Bo's hands. No one spoke. Nathan looked at Lihua. She looked exhausted. Mud streaked her face. Her hair had come loose. One cheek was bruised. But her eyes were steady. Nathan wanted to ask 100 questions. Instead he said, You all right? Lihua looked at him. Then at the torn coat hanging from his arm. A tired smile appeared. You really do ask simple questions. Nathan almost laughed. Jianyu moved to her. For a moment, father and daughter simply stood facing each other. Then Jianyu pulled her into his arms. Lihua closed her eyes. Nathan looked away. He suddenly felt like an intruder. Wei touched his shoulder. She left the cloth for us. Nathan nodded. I know. She expected her father to notice. I noticed too. Wei gave him a small look. Maybe I like you a little more. Nathan smiled. Careful. Lihua heard. What are you two saying? Nothing, Wei said. Nathan answered he likes me now. Wei glared at him. For the first time since the search began, Lihua laughed. The sound filled the canyon. Small, tired, alive. They left before dark. Bo rode with his hands tied. Two men stayed close to him. Lihua rode beside her father at first. Nathan remained farther back. He told himself that was respectful. He also told himself he was not disappointed. After an hour, Jianyu slowed his horse. Lihua did too. Nathan found himself beside her. She still wore the torn coat. "You should give that back," Nathan said. Lihua looked down. "Why? It's barely a coat anymore. One sleeve is damaged. The bottom is ripped. It can be repaired." Nathan glanced at her. "You plan to repair my father's coat." "I damaged it." "Bo damaged it." "I cut pieces from it." "That probably saved your life." "Then it deserves repair even more." Nathan had no answer. They rode for a while in silence. Then Lihua said, "You came." Nathan looked at her. "You sound surprised." "I am." "Your father brought half of Wyoming to my fence." "That does sound like him." Nathan smiled. "You knew they were searching." "I knew they would." "Did you know Bo was following you before you reached my ranch?" Lihua's expression became serious. "I suspected." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you would have tried to help." "I did help." "Oh yes. That was bad." "No." She looked ahead. "That was the problem." Nathan frowned. Lihua explained. "If I told you a man was following me, you would have become part of the conflict." "I became part anyways." "I know." Her voice softened. "I was trying to prevent that." Nathan thought about it. "You don't trust other people to choose danger for themselves." Lihua glanced at him. "That is a strange accusation from a man who gave away his dead father's coat to a stranger." Nathan accepted that. "Fair." Lihua smiled faintly. Then she grew quiet. After a while, Nathan asked, "What did Bo mean about school?" Lihua looked toward the horizon. "I want to teach in Silver Creek." "Maybe." She hesitated. "There is a mission school near Rock Springs that needs someone who speaks both English and Chinese." Nathan nodded. "You want to go?" "Yes. But my father fears I will leave our family." "Will you?" Lihua looked at him. "No." The answer was firm. "I want more than one world, Nathan. Is that wrong?" He thought about his ranch, his father, the Chinese men at his fence, Lihua's memories of Guangdong. "No." Her expression softened. Bo thought it was. Bo thought a lot of things. That is also true. She looked down at the coat. "My mother wanted me to learn English." Nathan waited. "She said language is a door. A person can open more than one door without burning the house behind her." Nathan liked that. "Your mother sounds wiser than my father." "Your father gave good advice too." "You knew him one night through a coat." Lihua touched the worn brass button still attached near the collar. "Sometimes that is enough to understand something." Nathan did not ask what. The sun lowered. The wet plains turned gold. Ahead, smoke from Silver Creek began to rise in the distance. Nathan could see buildings. Small homes, cookhouses, work sheds, gardens protected by low fences. People were waiting outside. News had reached them. As the riders approached, the settlement came alive. Women ran toward them. Children shouted. Men rushed forward. Nathan saw a young boy break from the crowd. "Jelly." Lihua slid from her horse before it had fully stopped. The boy hit her like a thrown stone. She caught him. Nathan guessed immediately. John, her younger brothers. He clung to her waist. Lihua buried one hand in his hair. Nathan looked away again. Too many private moments today. Jianyu dismounted. The relief in his face made him look 10 years younger. People surrounded Lihua. Questions came in English and Chinese. Hands touched her shoulders. Her face. The torn coat. Then people noticed Nathan. The noise changed. Not silence, but close. Nathan stayed beside his horse. He could feel eyes on him. Wei came to his side. Do not run. I wasn't planning to. You look like you want to. I usually do when this many people stare at me. Wei almost smiled. Jianyu raised his voice. The crowd quieted. He spoke in Chinese for several minutes. Nathan understood nothing. But he heard his own name twice. Then again. People looked toward him. An older woman began crying. A younger man nodded. Someone clapped Nathan on the shoulder. Nathan nearly jumped. Wei whispered he is telling them what happened. All of it. Oh yes. Even the part where I thought the coat meant marriage. Wei looked at him. What? Nathan decided he had said too much. Nothing. Jianyu finished. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then the older woman who had been crying approached Nathan. She took his hands in hers. Thank you, she said. Nathan swallowed. You're welcome. Another man came. Then another. Nathan felt trapped by gratitude now instead of suspicion. Somehow that was harder. Lihua stood near her brother, watching. Her expression was amused. Nathan gave her a look. She smiled. Later, when the crowd finally began to separate, Jianyu invited Nathan inside a long wooden building near the center of the settlement. A meal had been prepared. Rice, stewed beef, greens, tea. Nathan sat awkwardly among men who had been standing at his fence only hours earlier. No one threatened him. No one questioned him. They simply ate. That almost felt stranger. Jianyu sat across from him. You should stay tonight. Nathan shook his head. My cattle. Your cattle survived without you today. They might be planning rebellions. Wei laughed into his tea. Jianyu stared at Nathan. Then slowly he smiled. Nathan realized Lihua had inherited that expression from him. Jun sat beside his sister. He was perhaps 17 now. Older than Nathan first thought. He kept glancing at Nathan. Finally he asked, are you really afraid of women? Nathan nearly choked. Lihua closed her eyes. Jun, what? Who told you that? Cousin Wei. Nathan looked at Wei. Wei calmly ate rice. Nathan said your cousin is a liar. Wei smiled. Your face says otherwise. Lihua laughed. Jianyu tried not to. Nathan looked around the table. Something strange happened inside him. The room was crowded. Noisy. People spoke in two languages. Steam rose from bowls. Someone argued near the doorway. A child cried outside. And Nathan did not want to leave. That frightened him more than the 200 men had. After the meal, Lihua disappeared with an older woman who Nathan learned was her aunt. Jianyu brought Nathan outside. Night had come. Lanterns glowed between the buildings. You did well today, Jianyu said. I got punched. You still did well. Nathan rubbed his cheek. That seems to be a common opinion around here. Jianyu looked toward the building where Lihua had gone. Bo will face the elders tomorrow. What happens? He will be sent away. Nathan nodded. Not jail. Jian gave him a tired look. Would American law care greatly that one Chinese man kidnapped one Chinese woman? Nathan had no answer. Jian continued. We handle what we can ourselves. Nathan understood. Then Jian expression darkened. But Bo is not the only problem. Nathan looked at him. What do you mean? Jian reached inside his jacket. He pulled out a folded piece of paper. Nathan took it. The writing was in English. Short, uneven. He read it twice. Then a third time. The message said, the girl will not leave Silver Creek. The rancher should return home and forget her. If either refuses, next time there will be no search. Nathan's hand tightened around the paper. When did you get this? Before we returned. Who brought it? No one saw. Nathan looked toward the dark settlement. Though, he was with us. Then someone else helped him. Oh yes. Nathan thought of the horse tracks around his ranch. The strange trail. Bo's plan to use rumors. Maybe he had not planned alone. Nathan looked at Jian. Do you know who? No. A door opened behind them. Lihua stepped outside. She had washed. Her hair was braided again. The bruise on her cheek looked darker in lantern light. But that was not what Nathan noticed first. She still wore his father's coat, now carefully pinned where the sleeve had torn. She looked between Nathan and Jian. What happened? Neither man answered. Lihua walked closer. She saw the paper. Let me read it. Jian hesitated. She held out her hand. Father. He gave it to her. Nathan watched her eyes move over the words. Her face did not show fear. It showed recognition. Nathan noticed. You know something. Lihua looked up. For several seconds she remained silent. Then she folded the paper slowly. Bo was not the one who first told people I plan to leave for the school. Jian expression sharpened. Who was? Lihua looked toward the far end of Silver Creek. Lantern light moved between the buildings. People were laughing somewhere. A dog barked. Everything looked peaceful. Too peaceful. Lihua lowered her voice. There is someone here who has been trying to keep me from leaving for months. Nathan felt the night become colder. Jian stepped closer to his daughter. Who? Lihua did not answer immediately. Her fingers closed around the torn edge of Nathan's father's coat. Then she looked at both men. This trouble did not begin with Bo. A shadow crossed the lantern light at the far end of the street. Lihua turned toward it. And all the color left her face. A shadow crossed the lantern light at the far end of the street. Lihua turned toward it. All the color left her face. Nathan followed her gaze. A man stood beside the supply shed. He was perhaps 40, dressed better than most of the workers in Silver Creek. A dark vest rested beneath his coat. His hair was neatly combed and a silver watch chain crossed his chest. Nathan had seen him earlier. The man had stood among the crowd when Jian brought Lihua home. He had even bowed to her. Now Lihua whispered his name. Zhao Ming. Jian went still. Nathan looked at him. You know him. Jian face hardened. He keeps the work accounts. Lihua spoke more quietly. He also arranged my position at the school. Nathan looked back toward Zhao Ming. The man had already moved away. Jian started toward him. Lihua caught her father's sleeve. No. Jian turned. You recognize his writings? Not exactly. Then why did you react? Lihua looked at the threatening note again. Because he used the same words before. Nathan waited. She touched one line with her finger. The girl will not leave Silver Creek. Her voice tightened. 3 months ago, Zhao Ming told me that people like us survive by staying close to our own. He said a young woman who leaves without family protection becomes easy prey. Jian Yu's jaw tightened. You never told me. I thought he was warning me. And now? Lihua looked toward the dark supply shed. Now I think he was warning me about himself. Nathan felt the old anger return. Not wild. Cold. Useful. What does he want? Lihua's eyes lowered. Control. Jian Yu shook his head. Zhao has helped this settlement for years. So did Bo, Lihua said. Her father looked away. That answer hurt him. Nathan watched the buildings around them. Men walked between kitchens and bunkhouses. Lanterns swung in the wind. Somewhere a woman was singing softly to a child. A place could look peaceful while hiding fear. Nathan had learned that much. Jian Yu folded the notes. We speak to Zhao now. Lihua shook her head. If he helped Bo, he will deny it. Then let him deny it to my face. He may run. Nathan looked at her. What do you suggest? Lihua thought. Her hands disappeared inside the sleeves of his father's coat. When Bo followed me, he knew where I would be. Nathan nodded. The medicine grounds. Only a few people knew. Jian Yu looked sharply at her. Who? My Aunt Wei Yu Xiaoming's. Nathan felt the pieces begin to move. Lihua continued. Zhao handles wagon schedules and supply lists. He knew I planned to visit Rock Springs next month. He knew I had spoken with the school. Did Bo know those things? Oh yes. How? Lihua looked toward the darkness. That is what I want to ask. Nathan understood. Not publicly. Not yet. Jian Yu understood too. You want him to speak freely. Oh yes. Wei appeared from behind the meeting hall. He had been searching for Jian Yu. Nathan explained quietly. Wei's expression darkened. I never trusted Zhao. Jian Yu gave him a look. You never trust anyone. Wei shrugged. That saves time. Lihua almost smiled. Then she handed Wei the notes. Can you bring Bo here? Jian Yu looked at her. Why? Because Zhao thinks Bo will take the blame. Nathan saw where she was going. If Bo knows Zhao abandoned him, he may talk. Lihua nodded. Jian Yu hesitated. Then gave the orders. Bo was brought from a storage room 20 minutes later. His hands were bound. His wounded arm had been cleaned and wrapped. He looked tired rather than dangerous now. When he saw Lihua, he lowered his eyes. Jian Yu held up the notes. Did you write this? Bo looked at it. No. Did Zhao Ming help you? Bo's head came up too quickly. Nathan noticed. So did Lihua. Jian Yu stepped closer. Answer. Bo swallowed. No. Lihua said his name. Bo. He would not look at hers. She approached him. You told me you knew when I would gather medicine. Silence. You knew about the school. Still nothing. You knew where my father kept horses. Bo's jaw tightened. You did not learn all of that alone. Bo finally looked at her. Fear lived in his eyes. Not fear of Jian Yu. Something else. Lihua saw it. Are you afraid of Zhao? Bo looked toward the closed door. Nathan felt the room change. Jian Yu moved closer. What has he done? Bo's voice came low. You do not understand him. Then explain. Bo laughed without humor. You think I planned everything. Nathan said nothing. Bo looked at him. You were useful. Nathan's expression hardened. Hell, if people thought Lihua had run off with a white rancher, her father would lose respect. Jianyu's face became stone. Bo continued. Zhao said the settlement needed stronger leadership. He said too many families were becoming weak. By learning English, Lihua asked. By forgetting who they are. Lihua's voice sharpened. Those are his words. Bo looked away. Nathan remembered her telling him she could remember China and still choose her own future. Now he understood how often she must have fought that battle. Bo continued. Zhao said your father allowed too much. Jianyu's eyes narrowed. Allowed? Women going where they pleased, young men taking outside work, families leaving Silver Creek. He said people needed order. Wei muttered something in Chinese. Jianyu silenced him with one glance. What did Zhao promise you? Bo said nothing. Nathan stepped closer. He promised Lihua. Bo's eyes flicked toward him. That was answer enough. Lihua looked wounded. Not because Bo wanted her. Because he had believed another man had the right to promise her. Bo spoke quickly. He said if I brought you back, your father would accept the marriage. My father never agreed. I know that now. You knew it then. Bo's voice broke. I wanted to believe him. Lihua looked at him for a long moment. Then she asked, where is Zhao going tonight? Bo froze. Jianyu stepped forward. Answer her. Bo shook his head. I do not know. Nathan believed him. Lihua did not. She moved closer. When you were hiding me, you kept checking the time. Bo's eyes widened. You had no watch. Silence. You were waiting for something. Bo stared at her. Lihua's voice softened. He planned to meet you. Bo's shoulders sagged. Nathan saw the fight leave him. At midnight. Where? Bo closed his eyes. Old rail bridge. Wei cursed. Jianyu turned toward the door. Nathan caught his arm. Wait. Jianyu looked at him sharply. Nathan kept his voice low. If Zhao planned all this, he may not come alone. Then neither will we. Nathan glanced toward Lihua. She was already listening. Already planning. Nathan knew that look now. He did not like it. Lihua said, I am going. No, Jianyu said immediately. Father. No. He wants me. That is exactly why you stay. Lihua stepped closer. This began because men kept deciding what I should do. Jianyu's face tightened. That is not fair. No. Her voice softened. But it is true. Father and daughter stared at one another. Nathan watched Jianyu struggle. Protecting a daughter was easy when protection meant standing in front of danger. It became harder when protection meant allowing her to choose the danger herself. Finally, Jianyu asked, what would you do? Lihua looked at the notes. Let him believe I am leaving. Nathan frowned. With me. Her eyes found his. Oh, yes. Nathan felt every person in the room look at him. He cleared his throat. That seems dangerous. Wei almost smiled. Lihua folded the note. So was giving me your coat. Nathan had no answer. Jianyu paced once across the room. Then turned. We control the meetings. He looked at Wei. Choose 12 men. 20. 12. Wei nodded. Jianyu looked at Nathan's. You stay close to my daughter. Nathan almost said he had already been trying to do that. He decided against it. Lihua looked at her father. And you? I will be where Zhao cannot see me. The old rail bridge stood 3 miles north of Silver Creek. It had once carried wagons and work carts over a narrow ravine before a newer crossing was built farther west. The timber had grayed with age. One rail was broken and weeds grew between the planks. Clouds covered part of the moon. Nathan and Lihua rode there alone. At least they appeared alone. Nathan knew Jianyu Wei and the others moved somewhere beyond the ridge. He could not see them. That was the point. Lihua rode beside him. His father's coat covered her shoulders again. Nathan had suggested she leave it behind. She refused. He needs to see it, she had said. Now the coat moved gently in the night wind. Nathan glanced at her. You scared? Oh, yes. He appreciated the answer. So am I. Lihua looked at him. You hide it poorly. Thank you. You are welcome. They rode another 100 yards. Nathan said, when this is over, remind me to stop giving things to strangers. No. Why? You would not listen. He smiled. She did too. The old bridge appeared ahead. A lantern stood near its center. One man waited beside it. Zhao Ming. Nathan and Lihua stopped 10 yards away. Zhao looked at the coat. Then at Nathan's. His expression remained calm. You came. Lihua dismounted. Nathan did the same. Zhao watched her. You should have listened months ago. Lihua faced him. You should have spoken honestly months ago. Zhao sighed. You are young. So everyone keeps telling me. You think freedom is simple. No. Her voice stayed calm. I think choice is mine. Zhao's face hardened slightly. You learned that word from Americans. Nathan saw Lihua flinch. Only a little. She answered in Chinese first. A short sentence. Zhao went still. Then she repeated it in English. My mother taught me that before I knew this country existed. Nathan felt something in his chest. Zhao looked away. Your mother was different. Oh yes. That is why life was difficult for her. Lihua's expression became cold. No, life was difficult because men used hardship as an excuse to control others. Zhao smiled without warmth. You speak like a teacher already. I hope to become one. You will not. Nathan shifted. Zhao noticed. You see. He pointed toward Nathan's. This is what I feared. Lihua frowned. A rancher. A beginning. Zhao stepped closer. First English schools, then white employers, then marriages outside the community, then children who cannot speak to their grandparents, then nothing remains. Lihua listened. Nathan expected anger. Instead, she looked sad. You are afraid. Zhao's mouth tightened. I am realistic. You are afraid that if people can choose, they may choose differently from you. Zhao said nothing. Lihua continued. My mother made dumplings the way her mother taught her. My father still burns incense for her on the day she died. My brother writes Chinese characters every evening even when he complains. A faint smile touched her mouth. I drink tea too strong because my grandmother did. Zhao looked at her. Lihua placed one hand over her heart. China did not disappear because I learned English. The wind moved through the bridge timbers. Zhao looked toward Nathan again. And him. Lihua followed his gaze. Nathan suddenly wished he were somewhere else. She answered quietly. He gave me warmth when I needed it. That is all. Nathan looked at her. Lihua did not. She said that is enough for tonight. Zhao's expression darkened. So you choose him. Lihua finally looked at Nathan. Then back at Zhao. I choose myself. The same words she had given Bo. But they meant more now. Nathan understood. She was not rejecting her family, not rejecting China, not choosing America over home. She was refusing to become someone else's possession. Zhao's calm finally broke. You think your father can protect this foolishness? My father does not need to protect my thoughts. He cannot even protect his own authority. Nathan saw movement beyond the bridge. Small, a shadow, then another. Zhao was not alone. Lihua saw it too. Her expression did not change. Nathan's hand drifted near his revolver. Zhao noticed. Do not. Nathan stopped. 3 men stepped from beneath the bridge. Then 2 more. All Chinese. All armed. Nathan counted 5. Maybe more. Zhao smiled. I hoped your father would come. Lihua's eyes narrowed. Why? Because Silver Creek needs to decide what kind of place it will become. Nathan felt the trap. This was not about one woman anymore. Zhao wanted Jianyu. He wanted a confrontation. Perhaps blood. Perhaps leadership afterward. Lihua understood. You wanted Bo caught. Zhao looked at her. Oh yes. Nathan stared. Bo had been bait too. Zhao continued. Bo was weak, angry men usually are. You used him. He chose. Lihua's jaw tightened. And when he failed, I adjusted. Nathan asked the notes. Zhao nodded. You read English well. Nathan almost laughed. Enough. Zhao turned to Lihua. If your father attacks tonight, people will say he killed men to protect his daughter's relationship with a white rancher. Lihua stared at him. And if he does nothing, people will see weakness. Nathan understood the cruelty of it. Whatever Jianyu chose, Zhao intended to use the result. Nathan looked toward the ridge. Somewhere out there, Jianyu was listening. Zhao stepped forward. Come back with me, Lihua. No, you do not understand what happens if you refuse. I understand perfectly. His face tightened. You think one kind white man changes the world? No. Lihua's voice softened. But he changed one night. Nathan looked at her. She continued. And that was enough to show me something. Zhao's eyes narrowed. What? That fear does not have to make every decision. Nathan saw Zhao's hand move. Too fast. He reached inside his coat. Nathan drew first. The gunshot split the night. Wood exploded beside Zhao's hand. His pistol fell through the bridge rail. Everyone froze. Nathan's revolver remained aimed at the plank. Not Zhao. I missed on purpose, Nathan said. Zhao stared at him. Nathan's voice stayed steady. Do not make me try again. A rifle clicked behind Nathan. One of Zhao's men. Then a voice came from the dark. Put it down. Wait. Another click. Then another. Figures appeared along both sides of the ravine. Jianyu's men. 12 just as promised. Weapons ready. Jianyu stepped onto the bridge. He looked at Zhao. No anger showed on his face. That was worse. You used my daughters. Zhao lifted his chin. I tried to save our people. You tried to own them. I tried to keep them together. Jianyu walked closer. At what cost? Zhao looked at the armed men around them. Look at yourselves, taking orders from a man who lets his daughter wander with white ranchers. Jianyu stopped. Nathan felt his own temper rise. Jianyu remained calm. My daughter does not require permission to be a person. Zhao laughed bitterly. That is what they taught you. No. Jianyu's voice softened. She taught me. Lihua looked at her father. Nathan saw tears appear in her eyes. Jianyu continued. I crossed an ocean because I wanted my children to have choices I never had. Then I became frightened when those choices were different from mine. Zhao shook his head. You will lose them. Children are not things to keep. Silence settled over the bridge. Even Zhao's men looked uncertain now. Jianyu looked at them. Why are you here? No one answered. You think Zhao fights for China? Jianyu pointed toward Silver Creek. We are already thousands of miles from China. His voice carried into the ravine. What we keep will not survive because we lock our daughters inside or threaten our sons for leaving. He looked at Zhao. It survives because they love it enough to carry it. One of Zhao's men lowered his rifle. Then another. Zhao turned. What are you doing? The first man spoke in Chinese. Nathan did not understand. Wei translated quietly. He says his daughter wants to work in Cheyenne. Jianyu nodded. The second man lowered his gun. Then the third. Zhao's plan began falling apart without a shot. Nathan felt relief. Then Zhao suddenly lunged toward Lihua. Everything happened at once. He grabbed her wrist. Nathan moved. Jianyu moved too. Lihua moved fastest. She turned with Zhao's pull rather than fighting it. Her free hand struck his thumb. His grip broke. She stepped back. Zhao stumbled. Nathan caught him by the coat. For one dangerous second, Zhao reached toward Nathan's holster. Nathan shoved him against the bridge rail. Wood cracked. Zhao froze. Below them, darkness filled the ravine. Nathan could have pushed harder. One more step. One hard movement. It would be over. He saw fear in Zhao's eyes. Nathan remembered Bo. Remembered Lihua saying she would not allow another man's worst choice to decide hers. Nathan released him. Zhao collapsed to his knees. Wei and another man bound his hands. Nathan stepped back. His heart hammered. Lihua stared at him. You let him go. Nathan looked toward the ravines. I thought you might complain if I threw him off. A surprised laugh escaped her. Jianyu shook his head. Even Wei smiled. Zhao was taken back to Silver Creek before dawn. This time there was no secret hearing. Jianyu called everyone together in the main meeting hall. Men crowded the walls. Women stood near the back. Children watched through open windows until elders sent them away. Bo sat near one wall under guard. Zhao sat on the other side. Lihua stood with her father. Nathan tried to remain near the door. Jianyu would not allow it. Stand here. Nathan obeyed. He hated being watched. He suspected Jianyu knew that. Perhaps this was punishment. Jianyu spoke first in Chinese, then repeated enough in English for Nathan to follow. He told them about the kidnappings, the threats, the rail bridge, Zhao's attempt to turn fear into power. Then he surprised everyone. He admitted his own fear. I wanted my children safe, he said. Sometimes I confused safety with obedience. Lihua looked down. Jianyu continued. Our children must remember where they came from. He touched his chest. But memory held too tightly becomes a chain. Nathan saw older people nod. Others did not. That was all right. Real change rarely made everyone comfortable. Then Lihua spoke. At first she used Chinese. Her voice was calm. Steady. Nathan could not understand the words. But he understood the room. People listened. No one moved. Then she changed to English. For those here who fear I wish to stop being Chinese, I do not. Her eyes moved through the crowd. I was born in Guangdong. I remember my mother's hands folding dough at our kitchen table. I remember my grandmother correcting the way I held a brush when I wrote characters. Her voice softened. I remember the river near our village after heavy rain. Nathan watched her. She did not sound like someone abandoning a past. She sounded like someone carrying it. Lihua continued. I also live here now. She looked toward the open window. Wyoming wind is part of my life, so are these mountains, so is English, so is Silver Creek. Her eyes found Nathan's. And so are people I never expected to trust. Nathan felt his face warm. Wei noticed. Of course he did. Lihua looked back toward the rooms. I will take the teaching position. Whispers moved through the hall. She waited. I will teach English. More whispers. And Chinese. The room quieted. I will teach children to read letters from employers and letters from grandparents. Someone laughed softly. Lihua smiled. They should know both. Jianyu looked at his daughter. Pride replaced fear. Bo lowered his head. Zhao said nothing. The elders decided both men would leave Silver Creek. Bo would go south with a work crew after his arm healed. Zhao would be removed from the settlement accounts and sent away with relatives in another territory. No one spoke of revenge. That mattered to Nathan's. When the meeting ended, he stepped outside. Morning light touched the roofs. Nathan expected relief. Instead, he felt tired enough to sleep for a week. Lihua joined him. For a while, they watched steam rise from a kitchen chimney. Nathan said, "You did well. You understood nothing for the first half. I understood the important parts." Lihua smiled. You mean the English parts? Those helped. She looked down at the torn coat. I need this. Nathan stared. You already have it. No, I need to borrow it properly. For what? You will see. She disappeared before he could argue. Nathan spent that day helping repair a wagon wheel. Then a fence. Then a roof. He had no idea how he had become unpaid labor for Silver Creek. Wei seemed delighted. You are useful. I own a ranch. Oh yes. Which also needs repairs. Wei nodded. You should probably go home. Nathan looked at him. Wei smiled. But not yet. That evening Jianyu found Nathan beside the horse pens. You need to return to your ranch. Nathan nodded. I know. Your cattle will not wait forever. No. Jianyu stood beside him. For a while neither man spoke. Then Jianyu said, I was wrong about you. Nathan looked over. You thought I kidnapped your daughter. I thought worse things for several hours. Nathan decided not to ask. Jianyu continued. When I saw your coat around her shoulders, I was angry before I understood. Why? Because it reminded me how little control I had. Nathan thought about that. Jianyu looked toward the settlement. A father wants to believe he can build walls around everything he loves. Does it work? No. Nathan nodded. My father tried fences. Jianyu looked at him. Nathan shrugged. Cattle still escaped. Jianyu laughed. A real laugh. Nathan smiled. Then Jianyu became serious again. You care for Lihua. Nathan nearly stopped breathing. What? Jianyu waited. Nathan looked toward the nearest building. Anywhere except at him. I respect her. Oh yes. And Jianyu waited. Nathan rubbed the back of his neck. I care what happens to her. Oh yes. Nathan frowned. Are you going to make this difficult? Jianyu's eyes showed amusement. No, you are doing that yourself. Nathan sighed. Jianyu placed a hand on his shoulder. My daughter chooses for herself. Nathan met his eyes. I know. Oh, good. Jianyu walked away. Nathan stood alone, then realized the conversation had somehow been both a warning and permission. He was not sure which frightened him more. The next morning, Nathan prepared to leave. He saddled his mare before sunrise. Wei gave him dried food for the road. Jun gave him a small wooden carving of a horse. Nathan turned it over in his hand. You made this. Jun nodded. It lanes. Nathan looked again. It does. Jun grinned. Like you after Bo punched you. Nathan laughed. I'll treasure it. Jianyu shook Nathan's hand. Come back. Nathan nodded. I will. Then he looked around. Lihua was nowhere in sight. He tried not to show disappointment. He failed. Wei enjoyed that too. Nathan put one foot in the stirrup. Wait. He turned. Lihua walked toward him carrying a folded bundle. Brown wool. Nathan's chest tightened. His father's coat. But it was not the same. The torn sleeve had been repaired. The missing pieces were patched with dark fabric. Along the inside edge of the collar, small red stitches formed a neat pattern. Nothing loud. Nothing decorative for show. Careful work. Lihua held it out. Nathan took it slowly. Oh, you fixed it. My aunt helped. He touched the red thread. What does this mean? It is a simple cloud pattern my mother used when she repaired clothes. Nathan traced it with one finger. She taught you. Oh, yes. He swallowed. The coat now carried his father's rough stitching on one cuff and Lihua's family pattern near the collar. Two histories. Neither erased. Nathan looked at her. I don't know what to say. That is common. He laughed softly. She continued. I did something else. Nathan opened the coat. Inside the lining near the heart, she had stitched 4 small Chinese characters. Nathan stared. What do they say? Lihua hesitated. Then translated. Kindness remembers the road. Nathan looked at her. Is that an old saying? No. A faint blush touched her cheeks. I made it. Nathan smiled. I like it. Oh, good. He started to hand the coat back. Lihua frowned. What are you doing? You wore it better. It is yours. You repaired it. Oh, yes. You nearly died in it. I did not nearly die. You were kidnapped. That is different. Nathan laughed. Lihua stepped closer. Keep it. He looked down at the coat. Then at her. It doesn't feel like only mine anymore. Lihua's expression softened. Maybe it should not. Neither spoke for a moment. The morning around them grew brighter. People moved between buildings. A wagon creaked somewhere behind them. Nathan became painfully aware of Wei watching from a doorway. He ignored him. I have to go, Nathan said. I know. Probably a week. Lihua nodded. Maybe 10 days. All right. I need to check the cattle. Oh, yes. Repair the barns. Oh, yes. Sell some stock. Nathan. He stopped. Lihua smiled. You are coming back. He looked at her. It was not a question. Oh, yes. Then go. Nathan hesitated. Lihua. Oh, yes. If I had known that night how much trouble the coat would cause. She waited. Nathan looked at the repaired wool in his hands. I still would have given it to you. Her eyes glistened. Why? You were cold. Lihua laughed softly. That simple. Oh, yes. Then Nathan added, maybe not anymore. Her smile faded into something quieter. Warmer. Nathan put on the coat. It fit exactly as it always had, but somehow felt different. He mounted. As he rode away from Silver Creek, he looked back once. Lihua stood beside the road. Jianyu stood farther behind her. Jun waved both arms. Wei simply nodded. Nathan raised one hand, then turned toward Willow Bend Ranch. The ranch looked smaller when he returned. The cabin still stood between the hills. The barn still leaned slightly south. His cattle had survived. 2 fence rails were down. The world had not ended. Nathan dismounted. He stood in the yard where Lihua had nearly collapsed during the storm. The ground was dry now. No tracks remained. He entered the cabin. The old peg beside the door was empty. Nathan removed his father's coat. For years he had hung it there because it belonged to the past. This time he did not. He kept it on the chair beside him. Over the next 9 days, Nathan worked harder than he had in months. He repaired fences, counted cattle, rode to Cedar Hollow, settled 2 debts, sold 11 head to a cattle buyer. People asked where he had been. Nathan answered simply, helping friends. Some men laughed when they heard those friends were Chinese. Nathan did not. One rancher asked whether Nathan had gotten mixed up with them. Nathan looked at him. They have names. The man stopped laughing. Nathan discovered something surprising. Courage was easier the second time. Not easy, just easier. Captain Elias Grant, the local deputy marshal, heard part of the story and rode out to Nathan's ranch. He listened from the porch while Nathan explained the kidnapping, Zhao's threats, and the settlement's decision to banish the men involved. Grant scratched his gray beard. Technically, there are laws involved. Nathan waited. Grant looked toward the prairie. Technically, I also know how much attention county officials give crimes inside Chinese camps. Nathan's expression hardened. Grant raised one hand. I'm not defending it. Well, he sighed. If either man comes back and causes trouble, send word. Nathan nodded. Grant studied him. You planning to stay here? Nathan looked at the cabins. I don't know. That serious? Nathan frowned. What? Grant smiled. Nothing. Nathan disliked everyone suddenly understanding things before he did. On the 10th morning, he saddled his mare. He packed enough supplies for several days. Then stopped. Walked back inside. Picked up Jun's crooked wooden horse. He slipped it into his saddlebag. Then he put on his father's coat. The ride to Silver Creek took half a day. Nathan recognized the cottonwoods where Lihua had once lost the trail. He crossed the stream where they had found the brass button. Past the distant ridge where Bo had taken her. The landscape held memories now. Some painful, some strangely precious. Near sunset, he reached the final rise. Silver Creek appeared below. Smoke curled into the evening sky. Children chased one another between buildings. Workers unloaded a wagon. Nathan slowed his mare. Then stopped completely. Men stood along the road. Dozens. For one terrible second, Nathan thought something had happened again. Then he understood. The same people who had once lined his fence in suspicion now waited in quiet welcome. Not 200 this time, but enough. Wei stood at the front. Nathan rode closer. What is this? Wei shrugged. You took too long. It was 10 days. Very long. Nathan looked past him. Jianyu stood beside the meeting hall. Jun leaned against the fence. Then Nathan saw Lihua. She stood near the schoolhouse. Not wearing his father's coat now. He was. She wore a simple blue dress beneath a dark jacket. Her hair was pinned neatly behind her head. A few children stood around her holding slates. Nathan dismounted. Lihua walked toward him. You came back. I said I would. People say many things. So do you. Oh yes. She stopped in front of him. Nathan felt the entire settlement watching. He suddenly wished they would all disappear. Lihua noticed. You are terrified again. More people this time. She smiled. Then looked at the coat. You wore it. Cold mornings. It is warm now. It is. Nathan reached inside his pocket. I brought something. Lihua looked curious. Nathan held out a small package wrapped in brown paper. She opened it. Inside was a new notebook. Plain. Strong binding. Beside it lay 3 pencils. Lihua looked at him. For the school, Nathan said. Her fingers touched the cover. You remembered. You talk about teaching a lot. She smiled. My mother would have liked you. Nathan swallowed. My father would have liked you too. They stood there quietly. The noise around them seemed to fade. Nathan looked at the schoolhouse. Need any help? Lihua lifted an eyebrow. You said you were not a teacher. I can repair things. The roof leaks. I can fix that. The back step is broken. Easy. We need another bench. I can build one. Lihua nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps you have some use. Nathan smiled. High praise. She started toward the school. Nathan walked beside her. After a few steps, she stopped. Nathan. Oh, yes. My father says there is land available west of the settlement. Nathan looked at her. Does he? Oh, yes. Good land. Not very. Nathan laughed. Now I know you're being honest. Lihua smiled. There is water. That helps. And enough grass for cattle. That helps more. She looked ahead. If someone wanted to stay near Silver Creek. Nathan's heartbeat changed. He could hear it. Lihua kept her eyes forward. Nathan said someone might. She turned toward him. Would he? Nathan thought of Willow Bend Ranch. The empty cabins. The old life that had once felt safe. Then he looked around. Children. Families. 2 languages. A school waiting for a roof. A woman who had crossed an ocean and still carried home inside her. Nathan touched the repaired collar of his father's coat. Oh yes. Lihua smiled. Nathan had never seen anything more beautiful. Weeks became months. Nathan did not abandon Willow Bend immediately. He divided his time. 3 days at the ranch. 4 near Silver Creek. Then 4 became 5. Eventually, he sold most of the cattle and purchased a smaller piece of land near the settlement. He built a cabin there himself. Wei helped. Badly. Wei insisted he was excellent. Nathan disagreed. Jun carved another horse for the mantle. This one leaned less. Lihua began teaching at the school. At first 6 children came. Then 12. Then 20. She taught English words beside Chinese characters. Numbers beside stories. American maps beside memories of places their parents had left behind. Sometimes Jianyu sat outside the open door pretending not to listen. He always listened. Nathan repaired the roof. Then the benches. Then everything else Lihua found for him. One afternoon, he caught her deliberately loosening a shelf. "Oh, you did that." "No, I watched you. It looked weak. You pulled the nails. It needed improving." Nathan stared at her. She smiled. He repaired it anyway. Their love did not arrive like the storm. It came slowly. A cup of hot tea left on Nathan's workbench. A book Lihua asked him to read. A broken saddle he fixed for Jun. The way Lihua sometimes touched the red stitching inside his coat when she thought he was not looking. The way Nathan always made sure the school had enough firewood before winter. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that needed witnesses. One evening, nearly a year after the storm, Nathan and Lihua walked beyond the settlement. The Wyoming sky burned orange over Black Pine Ridge. Grass moved in the wind. Nathan wore his father's coat. Lihua carried a stack of student papers against her chest. She looked toward the ridge. "I used to think choosing one future meant losing another." Nathan walked beside her. "Do you still?" "No." She glanced at him. "I think a person can carry more than one home." Nathan smiled. "My father would have called that a heavy load." "Your father talked too much. You never met him." "I know enough." Nathan laughed. They reached the old fence line of his new property. Nathan stopped. Lihua looked at him. "What?" He took something from his pocket. "Not a ring." "Not yet." "A small brass button. The one found beside the stream." He had cleaned it. "Polished it." Lihua stared. "Oh, you kept it." "Oh, yes." "Why?" Nathan looked toward the distant hills. "Because it fell from the coat when your life was changing." He looked at her. "And mine's." Lihua touched the button. Nathan continued. "I don't know what everything will look like in 10 years. Neither do I. I don't know whether people will understand us. Some will not. I don't know whether I'll ever learn enough Chinese to stop Jun laughing at me." "You will not." Nathan smiled. "Probably not." Then his expression became serious. "But I know I want to keep building this life." Lihua looked at him quietly. Nathan held out the brass button. "With you?" Her eyes filled. For once she had no clever answer. She took the button. Then she took his hand. "Oh, yes." Nathan breathed out. "That was easier than I expected." Lihua laughed through her tears. "You waited a year." "I was being careful." "You were terrified." "That too." They stood beside the fence as the sun lowered. A year earlier, nearly 200 strangers had lined another fence because of fear and suspicion. Now this fence marked something different. Not division. A beginning. The brown coat moved in the evening wind. Inside its collar remained the small red pattern Lihua had stitched from memory. Near Nathan's heart were 4 characters created by a woman who had learned that kindness could become a road. Not away from homes. Toward another one's. Nathan Cole had once believed courage meant facing a wild animal, surviving a storm, or standing against armed men. He learned something better. Sometimes courage was giving away the thing you were afraid to lose. Sometimes it was trusting another person to make her own choice. And sometimes it was crossing a fence everyone else believed should remain between 2 worlds. Lihua had crossed an ocean without surrendering who she was. Nathan had crossed the distance between loneliness and belonging. Neither had rescued the other completely. They had simply met halfway. And that was enough. If you love Wild West stories filled with passion and heart, like this video and subscribe to my channel for new stories every single day.